Hey Cash Queens, welcome to our show again. I am so excited to present our very, very first person on our show to be interviewed, and she's someone that I've been secretly admiring for several years. The person is an entrepreneur who started with a very interesting story, so I don't want to give it away too quickly. I'd rather just introduce Sherri. Welcome, Sherri, to our show.
Nice to be here. Nice to be interviewed.
Awesome.
It's a different situation for me. I've never been interviewed before.
Oh, that's wonderful. And you're my very first interviewee.
Oh,
so
awesome.
Thank you so much. I'm so honored and humbled that you accepted our invitation.
It's a pleasure.
So I'm going to set the scene for the viewers.
Okay.
I have been visiting or coming to your store for about 8 years, more or less. I think it was around the third month that you guys had opened. And from the very first time that I came to your store, I was completely in love with the fact that I could come in, have my hair done and have my nails done at the same time.
Yeah.
Within 45 minutes, I was sorted.
Yeah.
And I got really good service. You had amazing hairdressers who do everything from washing to blow drying hair to doing our nails, and they do it so well and with such a nice vibe. And that was something I kept on coming. Even when I moved to Cape Town or semi-migrated to Cape Town and was coming into Joburg once a month, I would make a point to have my next nail application at your store.
We actually have a lot of guests
Really?
who do that.
That's amazing.
So, we have a lot. They live in Cape Town or Durban, and they actually make a point of when they're in Joburg to come for their hair or their nails to Dunkeld.
Yeah. Because you've got a
I've
special
got guests who live in Pretoria and drive all the way from Pretoria just to come to the store. So, yeah.
I can believe that.
Yeah.
I can believe that. But I had never known about your story, and I'm so excited to have everybody understand where you come from and what made you open a Sorbet.
Well, I mean, I don't think I set out to open a Sorbet.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I was a stay-at-home mom. I stopped working. I've always been in retail. I worked for Edgar's in Sandton City.
Lovely.
And then, I was a store manager of Queen's Park in Bedford Centre. Then, obviously, I'd met my husband while I was at Edgar's still, and then, obviously met my husband. We had our first child, and when I was supposed to go back to work, my husband said no, doesn't want me to go back to work. He wants me to be a stay-at-home mom. So I said, no problem. You know? At the time, it was something that a lot of women would like to do.
And it's important. Yeah.
So, I mean, my son, Christian, was born in 1998, and he was quite sick actually when he was born. So, he was very ill in the neonatal ICU there. So I was quite happy to stay at home with him.
Yeah.
Come 2016, my kids are all now in high school. I was bored. I was, so I took a job at a company, like an IT company, as an assistant to the director, and I was there for about a year, and then I left. Being in the work environment again, I realized, stay-at-home moms, it's lovely, but you don't get to have daily interactions with people adults, basically.
Yeah.
So, my whole life I've been a customer of the beauty industry. My hair, my nails, always had. I mean, when I was working in an office environment, everybody would always comment on what nails has Sherri got. Every 2 weeks I would have my nails done.
Nice.
I had a standing appointment. So, but one of the things for me, when I was going to these salons and whatnot, and I went to a few.
Yeah.
But one of the things that always stood out for me was the discontent of the staff.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
So basically, you can sense when you walk into these environments if the staff are happy, if they're getting treated properly. For me, the one particular salon that I went to, really you could feel it, and the owner would come in, and all of a sudden the staff would be, you could see they were nervous.
Yes.
You could see it straight away. You could feel it.
Yeah.
Another thing for me was I never got offered a drink. I never got,
Yes. So
and
true.
I used to sit there, and I used to talk to my nail tech, and I used to say, if I had this, if this belonged to me, I would do it totally different. And so I said to myself, so I obviously thought of maybe buying that store, but then the owner sold it to somebody else who also came in, and so I said to my husband one day, I want to buy a salon.
Amazing.
And he laughed at me. He said to me, he says, "You're joking. You're not gonna become a millionaire with a hair salon or just a salon."
Yeah.
I said to him, "You know what? Just give me a chance."
Nice.
And I looked around, and then I thought, so it was actually my neighbor who said to me, "Why don't you look at buying a Sorbet?" So I went for the presentation, applied to become a franchisee, and there's a process. There's a lot of different steps that you've got to go through. They do a lot of background checks on you, but I got approved, and I actually live quite close to this store. So when I was approved, I contacted the head of franchising, and I said, are there any stores that are available or becoming available?
Yeah.
And she said, no, we're looking for Dunkeld.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, and for me, I live less than a kilometre away.
Awesome.
So it was just meant to be.
Yeah.
So I have always, for me, it's about, you have to be your own guest.
Love it.
You have to, how would you feel if you walked into how would I feel if I walked into my salon with another face over me or whatever, and how would I feel when I walk in my salon, and how would I feel when I sat in the chair, when I speak to my staff? Now, Sorbet, we have terminologies that we use. We don't call our customers.
Oh, wow.
We call them guests.
Love that.
And our staff, we don't call them staff, we call them citizens.
Love it.
So citizens are, even me, I'm known as a citizen. Everybody at head office, we're citizens because we're part of the Sorbet family. We're part of this big community.
Yes.
And we support each other and whatnot. So I that's what I liked about the Sorbet setup. And also for me, it was a thing of, why didn't I go on my own, or what? I think the backing you get from Sorbet, and I think a lot of clients now, that they like the fact that they get the points and everything.
Okay.
So for me, that was a plus.
That's amazing.
So my first day was the 1st of May. It was a public holiday in 2017.
Amazing.
And the store had already been opened, and I walked into the store, and I actually thought to myself, would I come here?
Good question.
I lived down the road, and I had never come. I'd never come to the store, and I thought to myself, but why? So, and then I started looking around, and, you walk into a salon and you as a customer are impacted by what you see straight away.
Yes.
And what you see, what you smell, it's your senses. And so for me, what I saw when I walked into my salon for the first time was there was no stock on the shelves.
Okay.
So, my senses also, I sensed that there was unhappiness in the setup of with the citizens and the systems were not ideal.
Was the standard operating procedures that Sorbet often give as guidelines, were those not being adhered to?
Well, they were, but not with a smile.
Oh, okay. So the citizens were not happy, and it was very visible to you.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Got you.
They're not happy.
Yeah.
And so, my first thing I did was I have a belief. If you walk into a salon and there's like half empty shelves or 4 products on a shelf, you immediately think this business is struggling.
Correct.
And you feel like, why is this business struggling? If this business is struggling, how's this hairdresser going to know how to do my hair? Because why is this hairdresser here in a struggling business? So I stacked the shelves high.
Well done.
And I watched things fly.
Well done. Tell me something. When you stack shelves high, I'm assuming obviously on the back end, there's somebody like you who's taking a massive risk with your cash, because I'm assuming when you...
Oh, it was a big risk. I mean, I was very nervous. I mean, so, I had to outlay of my own personal money, all my savings from the years, and it was a big risk. My husband thought I was smoking my socks, literally. But he said, you know what, go for it. If it's what you want to do, do it. And so I mean, there were when I took over, there were 14 citizens.
Yeah.
And now on the 1st of May, I still have, of those 14 citizens, I still have 8 of them with me.
Amazing. That's amazing. 8 years later, incredible. Yeah.
They're still with me, and they will not go. They've been, I mean, my citizens have been, I've had so many hairdressing salons, owners coming into my store, trying to nail tech salons, trying to poach my staff.
Wow.
And I've seen it on my cameras, and I've always, and the thing is for me is you treat your citizens with respect.
Yes.
If you can't treat your citizens with respect and show them the respect they deserve, they're not going to work for you.
Definitely.
And they're not going to come to work with a smile on their face. Now that is the most important rule in this industry, and that's where a lot of the stores that fail, that's where they fail, because they come in as disciplinarians. We're going to discipline, we're going to make sure you're not allowed to do this, you're not allowed to do that. One of the rules in Sorbet is that the citizens shouldn't have their phones on the floor, but my citizens, my guests like that personal touch with their stylists, because they are, you have your stylists are, they literally your friend.
Yes.
And a lot of people, they want that connection. I mean, if you go to any other salon, you have a connection with your stylist.
And potentially there are customers of yours like me who've got almost an 8-year relationship, and we've created those relationships with your store, but also with your citizens. And I know for myself, I love to see the same hairdresser all the time, because she knows me, she knows my hair, she knows exactly what I want.
But that's why you develop a relationship with your therapist.
Correct.
And that is so important. And so everybody, we have, before we even get put into stores, we have to go for in-depth training, and we learn about the soul of sorbet, and and about why, we have that sign in our store that says if you're not entirely happy, you don't have to pay.
Yes.
And so, Ian Furr, who founded Sorbet, he had this philosophy, and he spoke about it. We had our awards last week, and he was because it's the 20-year anniversary of Sorbet.
Amazing.
And he got up there and he talked, and I remember his story very well. I read his book, and he talked about how everybody said to him he was crazy to put that sign up. And it rings very true, because if you're not happy in my business, you don't have to pay. Because I'm confident in the abilities of my citizens.
Yes.
That they will make you happy and you will come back. So I live for my citizens. They are my family.
Yeah.
When we have Christmas parties, I don't go and hire a venue. I have them to my house.
Oh, that's lovely.
And we have an after party, and we have the music playing, and the neighbors complain. But
Yes.
They are, and I think I have a very low, very, very low, probably one of the lowest staff turnovers in the Sorbet group. My citizens are happy.
Yeah, they are. Otherwise, they would have moved on. There's no doubt. So it's very evident, and I can see that between the Sorbet culture and their values, that was very much in alignment with who you are. And just the explanation of when you used to go to a salon before Sorbet, your suggestions to the lady or the technician, the nail technician, of giving someone a drink,
so
being kind and hospitable, all those things you were able to put into practice. Tell me, what does it make you feel?
I must tell you, when I started, one of the first, apart from like getting to meet all my suppliers and saying to them that this is my plan, I want all these items, I want them to always be 6 deep, so that I've always got stock. I don't want a customer to come into my business. I don't like to see money walking out of my store.
Absolutely.
But one of the other things that I did was I went into the cupboards, the kitchen cupboards, for the utensils that we were using to serve our customers their drinks and their coffees. And we were serving them it's like, basic coffee.
Yes, like a red coffee or something.
Granular coffee. And I thought to myself, no. Also, we're serving tea in a mug. No. You have to understand your client.
And treat them right, treat them really well. I know that on my birthday, one of your staff, or one of your citizens, should I say, she has the same birthday as me. And I know that every year on that day, I make a point to come to the store, and your citizens always offer me a glass of champagne, which is so amazing. And I get to be able to also wish one of your citizens that shares the same birthday as me. We're actually born on the same year.
Wow.
Go figure.
Wow.
And she's been here for so many years.
Who's that?
She's not with you anymore, but it was Flora.
Flora got poached.
Yes, I'm sorry to hear that. I heard about it.
She got poached.
I was very sad. But
we're
very happy with everybody else.
I'm very, very, very lucky. I mean, I am very lucky. But you can't control everything. I mean, I still talk to Flora. I still beg her.
Yes.
I lost Precious.
Yeah.
She also got poached, and
But that's bound to happen.
yeah.
But you've made an impact in their lives.
Precious still comes to the Christmas parties, and
that's wonderful.
So I mean, it's about it's about being good to people and being kind, and with my guests, it's about understanding where they come from, who they are, what they expect. I mean, one of the things that they were serving JC LaRue champagne, I had a heart attack. Poured it all down the drain. I went out and I bought proper, not proper champagne, but sparkling wine. I bought a decent quality, and everybody was like, "But why waste the money? You're not wasting the money
on your customer, no."
No, because you make your money back. You get people have a story to tell when they come into your store. So we were that was my first thing, and we had a lot of meetings in the beginning, and I made a point of getting to know every single citizen, and they over time realized that I'm not like
your normal owner or entrepreneur.
I mean, I believe if you put an extra with your staff to make sure that they are happy, that sense of family, that sense of happiness rubs off on them, and it rubs off on their customers.
Absolutely. Listen, as a customer, I feel it every time I come through. But tell me, did you have any fears? So just before, when you're going through that process, okay, now I'm gonna start a Sorbet, I'm gonna become this entrepreneur from being a stay-at-home mom, I'm gonna do this thing. Tell me about your fears. What was going through your head?
Fear of failure, I think everybody has a fear of failure all the time. I don't think that fear ever leaves you. I think it's always with you. It stays with you through everything you do in life. You fear making a mistake. You fear when you get a customer complaint, you fear that you've handled it maybe wrong, or there's a lot of fear. But at the same time, you're getting the rewards, and and you're getting the customers who complimenting you. And one of the things that really pushes me and drives me is when I walk through my store and I do speak to my guests, and they do say, "Your staff love you,"
and that's special.
And to me, that is very important. If my staff don't love me, and it's not to say that I'm not that I let everybody run around and do what they want, but I believe that if you show people respect, they'll show you respect in return.
And you guys are very unified. And when I come into your store, I do feel that everyone works as a team. They all chip in. If there's, I know from time to time I've come in and there's one or two staff members that were sick, and everybody rallies and takes over each other's customers. So that's a really, really big plus. In terms of what kind of advice would you give to someone who's thinking about starting either their own independent business or maybe taking on a type of franchise? What have you learnt that you would give them the advice?
Do your research, okay? My main advice in life, always with anybody who's got a business, is know your customers. Know your customer. Know who your customers are, where they come from, what they want, what they expect, and what will bring them back to your business.
So, and then try to meet those expectations as best you can.
And do it as best you can. As you know, we built this bigger store. The other store was way too small. we had just reached maximum, and there were just too many customers now complaining about being crammed, and and I take everything in. So moving into this double and a half size space was a big risk for me. It cost me a lot of money to do and build and whatnot, but I was very nervous for that. Very, very nervous. Support office was very nervous because we had shop front. Now we're in this little corner and whatnot. So it was, but it was, I knew what I was going to be able to do, and I knew that my store in particular, it's about word of mouth. So I don't rely on the passing trade. My customer base is based on word of mouth, and a majority of it is. And I like to do things a little bit differently, and I mean, as you know, I've got this big coffee bar now.
Yes, it's new.
Got a barista machine, so my customers who would go to the coffee shop next door and come in with their coffee cups, and my bin was getting full of paper coffee cups. I said, no, my customers are going to drink my coffee.
Yes, and it's good enough.
And it's free.
It's wonderful.
And it's a good coffie.
Yes, it is.
And
it is very much.
So there's no more paper cups in my bin.
Lovely.
And I increased my drinks offering. I make sure that I'm serving quality biscuits, individually wrapped. I buy the best because I believe that's what my customers deserve. And it pays off. It does pay off because, that customer will go away and will say, you get really good service. And a lot of the downfalls of other, not downfalls I'd say, but the other hair bars within the group. I mean, I have operators. So I employ 6 operators, which a lot of people, so operators are the ladies that are just washing your hair.
Yes.
And they're good at it.
Yeah.
And in a lot of the other salons, they don't have the operators, so the stylists have to wash the hair.
Oh, yes.
And I believe, also, I mean, we have a charge for people who come in and they have a wash and then they get a neck and shoulder and back massage.
Yes.
There's actually a charge for it, but I don't charge for it.
No, you don't.
Because for me, it's that experience. The customer's getting that experience from the minute they walk in.
Yeah.
When they walk in, they get the experience with their eyes visually. They get the experience walking through the store. They get that experience at the wash basin. My citizens they know what they're doing. They're highly skilled. When we have awards at the end of the year, my hair bar has the biggest table.
Amazing.
And my stylists always come in first, second, third, I look for a specific kind of, when I do look for stylists, I look at a specific kind of person, So, but I can tell you it hasn't all been,
I'm sure,
roses and fun and
what were some of the big challenges that you had to face?
Well, it's the suppliers,
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's the suppliers. It's getting suppliers to understand your needs. And I'm not talking about the product suppliers that we use in store. I'm talking about the suppliers who come and do your camera systems, or your suppliers who do your internet and that kind of stuff. And you got to know what you can't go in blindly, because that's been my biggest challenge over the years is people think they can take advantage of women.
unfortunately, that is prevalent.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we're not so technically savvy, and we don't really know what's out there. But I think you definitely make up for that in your commercial prowess, because you've got another store. So this is not just one. So you started with Dunkeld, and then at what point did you get Parkhurst, and how?
Well, so I mean, Dunkeld is a monster. I mean, when I bought it, 14 staff, we've got 37 staff now, citizens in the store, performing various tasks. Also, we're open from 7 in the morning until 6 at night, so we have 2 shifts. And it took a lot of time and growth for me as well. I grew a lot. I went for a lot of training, and I've never been one who's had to deal with management accounts ever before in my life, and so I had a lot of growing up to do myself when it came to those things. But I learned, and I think for me, I think it's my ability to understand my customers, that I saw Parkhurst struggling, and it wasn't doing very well. It was we categorize our stores. So it was a category C, what they call an ICU store. It was on the verge of being closed. So I approached the owner and I said to her, look, let me buy this from you. And it also was a risk.
Of course.
But I had ideas, and I knew in my mind's eye what I could do there. And I mean, there are another 3 other salons that do nails in the same street.
Wow. Yeah.
And so I said to my head office, I said, watch me. I said, give me a couple of years. I'll turn the store around. Within a year, we had turned it from a category C store, ICU, to a category B store.
Wow. That's
so
amazing.
I mean, the owner who had it was a disciplinary yin, and so the citizens weren't happy. That was, for me, was the most striking thing when you walked into the store. And she only had 2 permanent employees.
Wow.
It was a big learning curve for me. So my first thing was get more staff.
And fill the shelves, right?
Yeah. Fill the shelves. The shelves were empty. The shelves were empty.
Yeah.
And the people you're getting the passing trade, they're looking in the windows. If there's no products on the shelf, your customers, you walk past a shop, any kind of shop, you see the shelves are empty. What's the point of going in? You want to see a shop that's full of product, because you want to be able to look at stuff and compare. And when you see empty shelves, you think struggling business, staff are not doing well.
There you go.
So for me it was again a case of fill up my shelves, harmony, build up my team. I employed they didn't even have a therapist, so I employed 2 therapists who do facials. I've got 2 treatment rooms there, and then after 3 months after I bought it, I did a complete revamp of the store.
Okay.
So I completely gutted it out. There were 3 treatment rooms. I took 1 away. One of my biggest ideas was to get massage chairs.
Oh wow, nice.
Into my store, and I had some opposition from my support office, but I did a whole study, and I had to show them that this store is not competing with other sorbets. It's actually competing with salons that are within walking distance of the store. So I have to do something completely different.
Yeah.
And so I remember we opened. It was they had a wine walk. They closed the street off for wine tasting, and that was like the third day after we opened. And I remember walking up and down the street because I wanted the people who were there, I invited them. I said, come and have a free back massage, sit on my massage chairs.
Lovely.
So the chairs, they do have basins and everything there, but the people were coming in, and then so slowly and surely, but I started noticing more and more men.
Wow.
You know, I'd walk in on a Saturday morning and there's 5 men lined up.
Amazing, having their massage and having their
back massage
Yeah.
and having pedicures.
Yeah.
And pedicures are very much growing within a lot more men are going for pedicures. I mean, it was always like, no, I don't do that. My husband never would when I just owned Dunkeld, he would never go for a pedicure. He said, no, men don't do pedicures.
Yeah, until.
And I said, no, they do actually. And I said, if it would make you feel more comfortable, I'll put you at Parkhurst. I said, when there are other men there, and you can go and sit with all the men in your rugby jerseys.
Yeah, talk about the rugby
and
while having
have your pedicure. Now my husband goes every 4 weeks.
That's fantastic.
So, and I see it often, a lot of men. And also the women, and it's a different experience.
Yeah.
So, you know, I have plans for that store, I have ideas that I know. So, I mean, last year I won the Parkhurst won the award for highest turnover growth in the group.
Amazing.
So,
is this beautiful little trophy over here?
It's like
it's similar to this one.
It's
Okay,
actually
'cause this
in the
one's for
Parkhurst. This one's for Dunkeld.
Fantastic. So both your stores have got these accolades and awards.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
So so Parkhurst have got. I was also one of my suppliers. They're a big player in the beauty industry, and they have every year they do the beauty expo at Gallagher Estate, and so it was 2 years ago, not last year, the year before, they invited me, they gave me an invitation and said, no, I need to come to these beauty awards. It was a formal event, and so they had called out all the winners and everything, and I was sitting there. So I just thought, man, they just wanted me to come there to, you know, just to experience it. And then at the end, they called out Businesswoman of the Year.
Wow.
For their industry. And it was me. It was a huge shock.
How did you feel?
Oh, it was unbelievable. I was so surprised.
After so many years of hard work, right?
Because, you know, as much as you've got to keep your guests happy and your staff happy, you have to also keep your suppliers happy.
Isn't it amazing? Yeah.
You know, you've got to treat your suppliers, if they are there for you, they can help you so much, and you've got to take that help, and you've got to let them help you grow and take their advice. You don't know everything. I'm not a hairdresser, I'm not a therapist. So I had a lot to learn. I know a lot now, but you know, I can blow dry my own hair, but don't ask me to blow dry anyone else's hair. I mean, you know, it's taking on what they are advising you to do is also so important. And listening is, it's also, and you know, they have these brands, these big suppliers, their brands do well, and they do well for a reason. And I've seen it where other salons are, you know, they're not. They will argue with the brands. They will say, "Oh no, but you know, you got to take on the fact that you don't know everything, you know, and you've got to listen to what they have to say and listen to the stories and listen to the recipes. Listen. Don't think you know everything, because you don't. You'll never know everything.
Very good advice.
You'll never know everything. You learn every single day. I learn every single day.
Amazing.
Every single day.
Amazing what you've accomplished.
Thank you.
What you've achieved is incredible, knowing that this is not, you didn't go and study any of this.
No.
You came from being a housewife to really putting your hands knee deep in the mud and making something special. And with your citizens, you've co-created a very beautiful space where people really enjoy coming to visit. I'm one of them, and I'm very privileged to be able to be
we're privileged to have you.
Yeah.
We're privileged to have you. It's always nice to see you in the salon.
But my last question is, what's next for Sherri?
What's next? You know, I get asked a lot, am I going to buy my third store? You know, there was a time there was a store available nearby, and I know that my franchisor kept asking me to buy it, and I said at the time, you know, I know my limits, you know, and that's important. Don't take on more than you can handle. Don't take on more than you can handle. You've got to learn to handle what you have before you can grow what you have, and experience it and develop it and nourish it. When you think that you can move on and get another store, I don't know if I will ever get another store. I moved into this bigger store. This store is growing every month. It's growing and it's growing and it's growing. If I take my focus away from this store, will it continue to grow? You know, I don't know. I know that, I employ 52 people now. 52 men and women.
Yes.
And, you know, taking on more and more citizens takes you know, you can't give that individual attention, which they all need. Everybody needs that, you know, and I don't want to overextend myself, you know, because I've seen it with other franchisees who have more than one store. You know, when they acquire more stores, the other stores sort of suffer in a little way. And I don't want that to happen. I'd rather grow what I have and increase it, and allow the ladies and men that I have to improve on their salaries than to go and I'm not a greedy person, you know. I don't want to just go and buy stalls all over the place. And also I'm a person who's in my business, you know. For me that is important. If you're not in your business, you have no idea what's going on, and your guests want to see you in your business. I do. And the more stores you own, the less you're in your businesses and you're traveling. And, you know, the reason I bought Parkhurst is because it is less than 2 kilometers away from here, you know, so that's manageable for me. Further away, I don't think so. So at the moment, this store is 6 months old now in this new space, and I'm really concentrating on growing it. I've got some ideas, and you know, that I'm wanting to do, and other things that I'm wanting to implement. And we're going to be offering. We're introducing a new derma pen for hair loss. Especially, you know, ladies with very fine hair. So we've got the treatment room there, and you'll have the dermapen treatment into the hair follicles, and it stimulates the hair to grow out thicker. So, you know, that's what we're busy with now, is we're busy training the staff that we have, and getting that set up, and we're going to start some major promotion around that and offer, we're going to do some free treatments for people so that they can experience it, and you know, and we're also going to do a study over a period of time, because you know, you also people want to see what it does. Proof,
Wonderful. Thank you, Sherri. Really, this has been an amazing chat with you. I've learned so much, just as being a patron of yours. It gives me a really warm, fuzzy feeling. I love your story and where you've come from. I believe it inspires people. It's inspired me. You know, we all have those doubts in our head.
It would inspire my daughter to think, but you know, none of my kids are interested in my beauty stores.
You never know. They might change their minds with time.
My sons are living in Germany. I mean, my eldest is 27. I have twins who are 24, and my other son, the boy twin, is in Germany.
Oh, wow.
He's doing his master's in AI.
Oh, wow.
My daughter just got made the Golden Key Society.
Wow.
Which is an international society for the top 15% of academics in university and honours. So
amazing.
Yeah, so she is actually going to be a biokineticist. She's going to start her own practice next year.
Wow.
So you know, I just hope that I inspired them.
I'm sure you did.
And
you're gonna, through our viewers, we're very lucky to have you, because I believe that even if it's just one lady who's watching this show gets inspired and she's been thinking about doing something on her own, there's something she's passionate about, right? Just do it. And that she takes courage and says, come on, you can do it. As long as the principles that you've conveyed are very essential. One that we can take away is, one, know your customer. Do the research on what your customer really wants, no matter what industry it is. And then number two, make sure that your space, your office or your store is filled up. Partner with your suppliers. That's it. And partner with those suppliers into your vision. Let them know what your vision is. Share it. And I think what you've done so well, Sherri, is you're able to, one, see the vision in your mind's eye very clearly.
I mean, I do, and I do it when I walk in the shops. I look into shops in the malls, and I literally, like, I will walk past and say, okay, you can do that better, that better, that better, that better.
There we go. But then you're able to articulate it to your citizens. Your staff know the vision, because just keeping it in your head is going to be very limiting. But then you're able to articulate that to them, and then plus obviously your support team that is obviously at head office Sorbet, and then, you know, again with your suppliers. So you've got everybody working as a team, and
it's so important.
Totally. And I think if that's what we take out of this conversation, it's so valuable. It is the winning recipe for any business. So thank you, Sherri.
You know, for me, if I can just end off, if you know, for me, the thing that I believe that really worked for me in my favor is, and it works in both my stores, is trust. If you trust your employees, your employees trust you, you treat them with respect. They're not going to disrespect you by doing something, because you know what, ultimately they don't want to disappoint you.
Yes.
That is the key.
Amazing.
You don't want to force them to do things.
You want them to do it voluntarily.
They're doing it voluntarily because they want to make you proud.
And they feel like they're part of the team. Their little bit adds to the prosperity of everybody, and that's very evident in your store.
Oh, absolutely.
So Sherri, thank you so much. We've really enjoyed. I've really enjoyed having this chat with you. I knew a little bit about your story, but I'm so happy that today I got to hear the full story.
Thank you.
So thank you for blessing
us. Thank you. It was lovely.
Remember to subscribe and click the bell to get the latest episodes. Help us reach our goal of 1 million subscribers so that we can impact 1 million women and families. And remember to fill out the form in the description below, and I'll send you a free copy of my summary of Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.